Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about The Legend of Hercules, and this movie came out in 2014. And the only reason why I decided to watch this movie is because I heard it was very bad and laughable at points, and I thought, you know what, this sounds like it's right up my alley. So I decided to watch it, and wow, was this movie a disaster? And I loved it. At points. There were moments where it was kind of dull and boring, but luckily, those dull moments didn't last too long. I felt as though there were plenty of moments that were making me laugh, and I like this movie in terms of me laughing at it. Like, ironically speaking, it's an enjoyable film. Unironically speaking, though, there's like nothing good about this movie. The visual effects never once feel as though they're a part of the environment. It always feels like it's coming from a computer. And boy, does it look bad in this movie. Even for 2014 standards, it looks terrible. And the action, what action? There's nothing special about the action scenes. They're not impressively done, and there was a usage of slow motion in the action scenes, and whenever it uses slow motion, it just reminds me of 300, the way it was used, but never once used it at a moment that would have been cool to show. And because of that, it just comes across as like, what are we doing here? And kind of laughable and just missing what makes slow motion potentially cool. And also, on top of that, not only did this movie remind me of 300, but it also heavily reminded me of Gladiator. Like, this movie, in many ways, almost has the exact same beats as Gladiator. And 300, now that I think about it. A mix between 300 and Gladiator, and there you go. You get this movie. This movie is slightly over an hour and a half, and it feels as though there were just plenty of scenes in this movie that were cut out entirely for the pacing. And it just feels awkward at times because it feels like we're missing vital pieces of information. And why are we doing it this way? Can't tell you. None of the acting in this movie was good. Everyone was either restrained or just over the top, especially the villains in this movie. Like, they were hysterical. I loved the villains in this movie. I couldn't stop laughing. Like the King character, basically every line he was just yelling. And it was so funny to watch. And he gets a lot of screen time in this movie, and does it ever work for me? If you know what I mean by that. This movie is supposedly taking place in like 1200 BC, and never once does it ever feel like that. Everything just feels way too clean, from characters' clothes to like their teeth. They all have perfect teeth or extremely white teeth. There was also a really forced romance in this movie that didn't matter at all, and it honestly could have been cut out of the movie entirely and nothing would have been lost. And the outdoor lighting scenes in this movie at night just looked horrendous. Like it was shot during the day, and they just put over a filter over it to make it look dark. But never once does it actually feel like it's at nighttime. There's nothing to care about in terms of the story. There's nothing to care about in terms of the characters. They're all flat, and there's nothing interesting about any of them. The story is exactly what you would expect, based on everything that I've said. So, if you like funny bad movies, I would highly recommend that you check this movie out. Just keep in mind there are going to be some slow and boring parts, but whenever the villains are on screen, that's when the movie is gold. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give The Legend of Hercules a 1 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Legend of Hercules, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Knock at the Cabin. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.